Hey everybody, Will Fix here. Got another video for you today. The dollar will collapse and XRP will soar. The coming Black Swan event. There's a lot of news, economic news, stock market news, bond market news, dollar news. It's not looking so good right now. So I want to cover an article and go over the idea that there is an inverse correlation. So though the dollar may go bad, crypto will probably go up. Let's look a little deeper into it. We'll go over our three coins first, and then we'll get into the article right away. XRP at 56 cents. Here's the weekly chart. We need to come up some more, kind of going sideways. Maybe we'll get a little spark and a little fire. Let's go on to Quant. Looks like we dipped right down to 60 on this one-day chart. And looks like today it's up a little bit. We're at 61.64. Looking good. Let's move on to Crypto Trading Fund. Here's the 7-day chart for CTF. It's at $1.16 currently. You can see we've had some good spikes. I haven't caught that volatility where I can sell yet, but may have to wait, another 4 or 5 weeks before we catch it. CTF did have some good news to come out. We'll just look at that briefly. But thanks for all of y'all that are warning me on this coin. But I'm okay with this coin. I trade the volatility. I hold some. I see development. I'm not afraid of it. It's not a scam. It's an actual working coin that's developing some interesting utility. But that's my opinion. You have your opinion. Their good news was that they are going to be released on an exchange, and then there's some more exchanges coming up, so you'll no longer have to buy it through, bizarre means by going to their website, going to Polygon and buying it. You know how it's purchased on Sushi Swap and things like that. So it'll. I would suggest to evaluate this coin for yourself as far as the speculative idea of if it's released on several different exchanges like they're announcing, then there's probably going to be a price spike. And this is a coin that doesn't have a total supply of but 120 million coins. So it's a very low supply, and this will react very well to a bullish sentiment. All right, let's move right along. If you own crypto, you need a self-custody wallet. I've chosen the Decent wallet after owning several different wallets. I believe you will like it too. Use the link in the description. Purchase from my site. It does help support the channel. I appreciate it. Strap in. Fed suddenly braced for a U.S. dollar crisis that's predicted to spark total collapse and a critical Bitcoin price tipping point. Bitcoin and crypto prices have surged this year as the U.S. dollar index falls to year-to-date lows, with the Coinbase chief executive last week revealing an AI game changer. I don't know what he's talking about there. Anyway, the Bitcoin price trading at around 60,000 per Bitcoin, up from January lows of under 40,000, as traders bet a fresh injection of liquidity by the Federal Reserve will put the Bitcoin crypto market on the cusp of a major move. Now, as China gears up to drop a Bitcoin price bombshell, fears are swirling. The U.S. dollar is on the verge of a total collapse, setting up the Bitcoin price for a critical tipping point. The U.S. dollar index just hit a new 2024 low, and it's actually still relatively high, but it looks like it's on the verge of a total collapse. Economist and gold bull Peter Schiff posted on X. The index could sink below 90 before year-end, challenging the 2020 low. Schiff, the founder of money manager Euro Pacific Asset Management and a Bitcoin and crypto skeptic, later added, I think the low will be breached in 2025, triggering a U.S. dollar crisis, crashing the economy and sending consumer prices and long-term interest rates soaring. Last month, Fed Chair Jerome Powell's speech during the annual Economic Symposium of Central Bankers at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, struck a dovish tone and queued up a September interest rate cut, driving down the U.S. dollar. It's been a tough summer for the greenback, Neil Rotary, analyst at investment platform Stocklytics, said in emailed comments. As recently as April, dollar dominance looked unstoppable as its price soared versus almost all global currencies. Now it's at 2024 lows against the euro and the pound and the yen. The Federal Open Market Committee's FOMC July meeting minutes had earlier revealed policymakers as more dovish than previously thought, suggesting interest rates could come down sharply after rocketing to 23-year highs at a historic pace through the Biden administration as inflation spiraled to highs not seen since the 1980s. The Fed is now widely expected to kick off rate-cutting cycle as its two-day monetary policy meeting that begins September 17th. There's now no speculation interest rates might come faster than initially predicted, Rotary said. As many as 100 basis points could be knocked off current rates by the end of the year, which will cool dollar expectations off the rest of 2024. But it's worth keeping a close eye on how other central banks react. That all-important rate gap, the difference in interest rates between countries, could be a driver of some significant currency volatility over the coming months. Strap in for what could be a bumpy ride. In Europe, the EU's European Central Bank at the UK's Bank of England are both expected to further cut rates after beginning loosening cycles in the recent months, while questions remain over the Bank of Japan after it caused a global market meltdown when it surprised traders with an interest rate hike in July. Meanwhile, the Bitcoin price has lost the momentum it has built up through the first half of 2024, causing doubt over its performance through the rest of the year. While we remain optimistic about digital assets' mid to long-term prospects, the current evidence calls for caution. Marcus Thielen, I don't know how to pronounce it, the chief executive of 10X Research, wrote in an emailed note, although the market experienced near V-shaped rebounds following dips in early May and early July and early August, the underlying market structure and fundamentals have progressively weakened. As a result, each dip has become deeper and the subsequent recoveries have become more subdued. The latest end-of-the-month data indicates that we may be nearing a critical tipping point in September, marked by a decline in demand. Other Bitcoin and crypto market watchers have pointed to Bitcoin's historical poor performance in September as a cause of concern. September is a historically negative month for Bitcoin, as data shows it has an average value depletion rate of 6.5%. The founder of the UK-based Bitcoin and crypto exchange, Pabus, said via email, noting the recent negative investor sentiment around Bitcoin has driven its price down from its recent peak. Should the Fed cut interest rates in September, it might help Bitcoin rewrite its negative history. This is because rate cuts generally lead excessive U.S. dollar flow in the economy. This reduces the dollar purchasing power, further strengthening the outlook of Bitcoin as a store of value. Many institutional investors are already proving this point with massive Bitcoin accumulations. If the Fed's policies weaken the dollar, switching to risk assets with higher growth potential might be inevitable. Overall, the macroeconomic indices, spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund ETF adoption, and favored hash rate might make September a relatively better month for Bitcoin this quarter. The Bitcoin price rally so far this year has been turbocharged by the long-awaited arrival of a fleet of spot Bitcoin ETFs on Wall Street. The Bitcoin ETFs and the BlackRock and Fidelity have surged to become some of the fastest-growing ETFs of all time since their January debut. So here we have very strong reason to believe we could have a pop in Bitcoin, which could lead to the beginning of this bull run, and I have to say here, a bull run is not mandatory. I mean, there's nothing cooked in that's going to guarantee that there's going to be a huge bull run. It has been the cycle. It is an election year. There's a lot of evidence to say it's still going to be that we're going to have a giant bull run, but that has to be said because it's a truth. But I believe we will have a bull run, and the inverse correlation of what goes on with the dollar and Bitcoin is something that's noted by several different people. I've read several articles. So even though we may have a major drop in the dollar, and as bad as that is, hey man, if crypto coin is a store of value, not just Bitcoin. Bitcoin leads it, but sometimes other coins move more than Bitcoin. So other coins are also a store of value. Then if the dollar does weaken like that, well, at least we'll be ahead of the game because we're early. We're not wrong. So I just wanted to share that with you, that little encouragement that it looks like we will still have a bull run, but I don't like maybe the reasons, but I do like the fact. Hopefully you own assets. This kind of inflation and the things happening right now, if you own assets, if you own property, if you own homes, then this isn't as bad. If you don't own anything and you're paying rent and everything is right on the edge, I really feel for you. It's hard to invest when you're at that. When I was earlier in my life, it was much harder to invest. In fact, I didn't at all. So those of you that are young families and you're investing, man, I say go for it. Just pretend that money doesn't exist. Just hang on, hang in there. We are right by being in this asset. And as the economy shifts, who's to say this isn't the Black Swan event to kick it all off? There's a lot of ideas out there about what might happen to kick everything off, to make even XRP a world reserve currency. That is definitely a possibility. XRP is acting just like a bank in tons of aspects. So it may just be that way. So what can we do? What can we do? We can do everything we can to try to accumulate more. Hey, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. You'll see links popping up to the upper left over there. There's other videos you can watch. By the way, if you ever just want to hang out and listen to videos, pick my playlist, Will's XRP videos. Just pick that playlist, put it on your TV, just let it run all day while you're doing all day chores. I go to sleep sometimes listening to videos. I'll have my phone under my pillow and it'll be playing and I'll listen to stuff. But put on a playlist and let it run. Maybe, hopefully my voice isn't too disturbing for you. I'll see you next video. Have a good day.